Hello and welcome to English Parliamentary News. I'm Afia Jufri. In this edition, we'll present all the latest and interesting information around the House of Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia. Commission 4 of the House pushes the government to make a more effective subsidy scheme in order to focus on fulfilling the demands for local food products. Member of Commission 4 Slamet criticizes the massive imports of agricultural commodities, one of which is jasmine rice from Vietnam, which are being sold at more competitive prices. Although the Agriculture Ministry's budget is limited, Slamet urges the government to keep encouraging the productivity and farmers' welfare.
Jadi subsidinya lebih kepada saya adalah subsidi pasca panen, sehingga petani kita bisa sejahtera, kita bisa bersaing dengan yang ada di luar itu. Di mana-mana petani pasti mendapat perhatian dari pemerintah dalam hal ini adalah subsidi. Ya.
Member of Commission 4, Sutrisno explains the improvement of farmers' data collection and distribution of subsidized fertilizers and seeds is one of the factors that affect farmers' productivity. Therefore, he asserts the local rice demands could be fulfilled with productivity of rice production.
Produksi kita cukup manakala dikelola dengan baik. Bibitnya tepat waktu, cukupnya juga di tepat waktu, data berimbangnya juga baik untuk menumbuhkan produktivitas. Kenapa Pak Presiden mengatakan apa reasonnya buat kita? Karena kebanyakan yang terjadi adalah pupuk itu tidak tepat waktu sehingga petani lambat memupuk. Kalau itu terjadi, produktivitas pasti akan turun.
Jasmine rice from Vietnam is being sold at 9,000 rupiah per kilogram, while the market price for premium grade of local rice is in the range of 9,200 to 9,700 rupiah per kilogram. Helmi Antemi, TV Parliament report. Commission 8 of the House sets up a working committee to monitor the 2021 Hajj plan that will adjust every related aspects amidst the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Vice Chairman of Commission 8, Aceh Hasan, says the Hajj Committee will prepare all possible scenarios if Hajj pilgrimage is open for this year. The scenario also includes the need of vaccination for the pilgrims, as this will also have an impact to the overall cost of Hajj in 2021.
Jika ada pembatasan kuota akibat dari pandemi, tentu kami harus siapkan berapa besaran dari BPIH, berapa yang harus dibiayai dari nilai manfaat dan berapa yang dibayarkan dari para calon jemaah haji kita gitu.
A member of Commission 8, John Kennedy Aziz, says the 2021 Hajj pilgrimage is still awaiting for announcement from the Saudi Arabia authorities. He also reminds the government to ensure the latest update of Indonesian Hajj quota.
Kuota penuh 221.000 orang. Atau mungkin juga terlaksana tetapi kuotanya hanya sebagian 50% atau berapa persen kita tidak tahu, atau misalnya pembatalan.
Amidst the uncertainty, the Religious Affairs Ministry has prepared 3 scenarios for the 2021 Hajj departure, where the pilgrims will be sent either in full quota, limited quota, or to cancel altogether this year departure. Nadia and Sanjaya, TV Parliament report. Commission 8 of the House urges the Ministry of Social Affairs to reform its social assistance program by improving data collection and updating the integrated data for social welfare, or known as DTKS, so that the distribution of social assistance is always unwearying and efficient. Vice Chairman of Commission 8, Aceh Hasan Shazili, asserts the 120 trillion budget allocated for the Social Affairs Ministry must have an impact on the community. The Commission 8 of the House supports the COVID-19 social assistance to be given in cash and transferred directly to the community to prevent any misuse authority over these social assistance funds.
Jangan sampai inclusion error itu adalah orang yang seharusnya tidak mendapatkan bantuan tetapi dapat bantuan, dan exclusion error yaitu orang yang seharusnya mendapatkan bantuan tetapi dia tidak mendapatkan bantuan.
Meanwhile, member of Commission 8 of the House, Ahmad, asserts the integrated data for social welfare is still inaccurate and need to be updated frequently. Society that affected by the economic impact of pandemic must be on the top priority list. Speaking regarding the social assistance plan to be given in cash, he reminds the disbursement of this cash assistance should not cause a crowd.
Nah, DTKS itu harus dimutarkan bukan setahun sekali, ya kalau dapat 3 bulan sekali. Ini kan manusia ini kan dinamis ya, bergerak terus. Ada yang meninggal, ada yang pindah, ya kan?
This year, the Social Affairs Ministry Cash Assistance Program, amounting 300,000 rupiah, is targeted to be disbursed to 10 million families throughout Indonesia and will be given in stages from January to April. Hilman Antemi, TV Parlemen, report.
The Committee for Interparliamentary Cooperation of the House, or BKSAP, appreciates efforts taken by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in handling the COVID-19 pandemic.
On a working visit to Banten to inspect the implementation of Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, the chairman of the BKSAP of the House, Fadlizon, says BKSAP supports the Foreign Affairs Ministry diplomacy efforts. This includes efforts to support economic recovery and to ensure protection for all citizens inside and outside of Indonesia.
Badan Kerjasama Antar Parlemen berada di front terdepan untuk urusan diplomasi parlemen. Dan diplomasi parlemen sebagai first track diplomasi juga tentu mendukung diplomasi negara, diplomasi pemerintah, dalam hal ini Kementerian Luar Negeri, dengan berbagai macam prioritasnya.
Fadlizon adds BKSAP will also ensure diplomacy efforts are taken to secure the procurement of vaccine for Indonesia, as vaccination will be an important tool to stop the spread of coronavirus.
Apakah kita sudah ada kerjasama dengan negara-negara yang dekat dengan kita? Ini masih semuanya di dalam proses. Kita berharap mudah-mudahan nanti bisa lebih tuntas selesai, sehingga dengan adanya kepastian itu, maka akan mulai bangkit kembali ekonomi.
On this occasion, Deputy Foreign Minister Mahendra Siregar conveys there are 5 diplomacy priorities in 2021 amidst the ongoing response effort to COVID-19. One of the priorities is strengthening the national health security. From Banten, Rizky Kurniawan, TV Parlemen reports.
Commission 3 of the House demands the newly appointed National Police Chief to prioritize the justice, firm, and transparent law enforcement to the society.
Member of Commission 3, Eva Yuliana, says the new National Police Chief, Listio Sigit Prabowo, must immediately evaluate the performance of law enforcement in Indonesia. She believes the law enforcement must prioritize the principle of justice and transparency, that all people must be treated equally under the law. Eva Yuliana says police officers must be able to give legal education and build a good relationship with the community.
Bagaimana polisi hadir di tengah masyarakat itu tidak hanya sebagai lembaga penegakan hukum, namun bagaimana polisi itu hadir di tengah masyarakat sebagai mediator dalam beberapa kasus hukum yang ada di masyarakat. Sehingga dengan demikian ada fungsi edukasinya, ada fungsi untuk mengayomi.
Vice Chairman of Commission 3, Adis Kadir, says corruption cases, drug and tourism must become the priority, as the institution should not only focus on prosecution but also the prevention. Adis Kadir also supports the Listio Sigit Prabowo's commitment to demonstrating police institution that based on productive, responsible, and transparent values.
Kita ingin menagih janji daripada Pak Kapolri yang baru bahwa beliau akan menegakkan hukum dengan seadil-adilnya, tidak tumpul ke atas tajam ke bawah, begitu juga ke kiri dan ke kanan. Sesuai dengan janji beliau pada saat fit proper test, jargonnya kan bukan promoter lagi tapi presisi.
Commission 3 of the House will continue to supervise the performance of police to ensure a good law enforcement in Indonesia. Hilman Andodi, TV Parlemen report.
Regarding the revision of Law Number 7 of 2017 on elections, the Legislation Committee of the House called for evaluation and strengthening efforts for the general election organizers, namely the General Election Commission or KPU, the General Supervisory Body or Bawaslu, and the Election Organization Ethics Council or DKPP. This revision will ensure that the general election budget and implementation of it can be better managed.
Vice Chairman of the Legislation Committee, Willy Aditya, says in order to realize a fair and transparent general election, the article that regulates election organizers needs to be revised. Willy Aditya urges KPU and Bawaslu performance must be immediately evaluated so that there is no overlapping authority in carrying out the general election processes.
Bagaimana memastikan hasil itu lebih cepat? Itu yang kemudian secara prinsipil harus dijamin oleh penyelenggara. Bagaimana kemudian kita memiliki rekapitulasi yang sangat panjang, sangat birokratik. Ini kan yang harus kita pangkas. Yang kedua, ada ruang-ruang abu-abu yang kemudian menjadi faktor kemudian masuk anginnya dari sebuah proses pemilu. Itu adalah proses pencederaan terhadap hak-hak dasar rakyat. Nah,
Willy Aditya says through the revision of election law, a lot of shortcomings in implementation of election can be evaluated to improve its quality. He also says KPU and Bawaslu must prioritize the speed and accuracy of vote recapitulation and money politics prevention.
Fokus kita tentu RUU Pemilu ini tidak hanya berlaku dari pemilu ke pemilu, tapi ini adalah sebuah lanskap yang bisa kita pakai secara jangka panjang, biar kemudian dia tidak hanya bongkar pasang. Kalau itu bongkar pasang lebih dari aspek-aspek yang teknis.
Hilman Endodi, TV Parlemen Report.
Commission 11 of the House asked the government to carefully manage the national debt growth and adjusting it to improve the economic situation and maintaining the debt to the GDP ratio safe limits.
Vice Chairman of Commission 11 of the House, Amir Uskara, says the national debt must be managed carefully and prioritize its use to drive the economy. As stated in 2021 state budget, government debt for 2021 rise from 1,177.4 trillion rupiah from 1,142 trillion rupiah in 2020.
Kita hanya ingin mengatakan bahwa itu pemanfaatannya harus hati-hati. Pemanfaatan utang ini harus disesuaikan dengan kepentingan untuk menggerakkan ekonomi. Karena utang kita yang sudah terlalu besar, sekarang ini sudah 5 ribuan, artinya untuk tahun ini dengan 1.032 triliun tentu akan semakin besar, tapi kita berharap pengelolaan utang ini terus dijaga oleh pemerintah.
Amir Uskara adds the debt management must be maintained so the debt repayment financing can be realized by keeping the debt ratio at a safe limit and debt financing also finding a flexible financing resources.
Tapi kita berharap pengelolaan utang ini terus dijaga oleh pemerintah, kemudian pemanfaatan utang ini betul-betul untuk bisa menggerakkan kembali ekonomi, jangan sampai utang ini hanya dipakai untuk membayar utang. Itu yang kita minta di pemerintah.
The increase in government's debt consists of 1,200 trillion rupiah from the government bonds, 184 trillion rupiah from investment financing, and 15 trillion from other resources. From Senayan, Jakarta, Mahir and Rangga, TV Parlemen Report.
Members of Commission 9 of the House urged the candidates of the Supervisory Board of the Workers' Social Security Agency or BPJS Ketenagakerjaan to intensify their supervision over the Directors Board. If the control is optimally executed, this will ensure the benefits for all the participants.
Speaking after attending a fit and proper test for the new Supervisory Board of the BPJS Ketenagakerjaan, member of Commission 9, Elva Hartati, reminds the candidates that they are not given the responsibility to merely work together with the Director Board. They are appointed to scrutinize and oversee the performance of the directors.
Dewan pengawas, namanya aja pengawas ya. Jadi harus ngawasin direksi, jangan bekerja sama. Dan sekarang contoh BPJS Ketenagakerjaan lagi dibidik sekarang karena dana buruh itu besar. Jadi saya berharap mereka memang harus kontrol pekerjaan direksi.
Member of Commission 9, Saleh Partaunan Daulay, says the supervising board of the BPJS Ketenagakerjaan exists to be the driving force in bringing in investment and improving the welfare for the participants. The supervising board and directors are expected to strengthen one and another.
Investasi harus betul-betul cermat, hati-hati sehingga mendatangkan keuntungan bagi BPJS Ketenagakerjaan, dan tentu itu meningkatkan kesejahteraan peserta dan dalam hal ini tentu para pekerja kita di seluruh tanah air. Kita tentu berharap bahwa program-program BPJS Ketenagakerjaan ini betul-betul dapat meningkatkan kesejahteraan para pekerja.
Currently, the BPJS Ketenagakerjaan Supervisory Board's candidates are undergoing a fit and proper test because the service period of the current sitting board will end on February 19th of 2021. Hendra Bani, TV Parlemen report.
And that rounds up this edition of English Parliamentary News. On behalf of all the crew of TV Parliament, we would like to thank you for your attention. We'll meet again in the next edition of English Parliamentary News from me, Afia Jufri. Once again, thanks for watching and goodbye.